All right, we're excited to have our next guest joining us on the Zoom call. Our first guest ever in show history, and our first time talking to our next guest. He just wrapped up his first season of professional baseball, currently a top 15 prospect in the Minnesota Twins organization. Everyone, please welcome Cory Lewis to the show.
Thanks for having me.
How's it going?
Doing good. How are you guys?
Good, good. We're excited to have you. We like I said, we really appreciate you taking the time to speak with us. And obviously you're kind of a unique pitcher in the minors, and I mean, you're the stats back it up. And just I guess we kind of wanted to ask you. I mean, first and foremost, you got the knuckleball, and just how does it feel just to be kind of the knuckleball pitcher and one of the only ones really in the minors?
Honestly, it's pretty cool because I hear from all my teammates all the time, like, "Oh my God, it's so sick!" Like knuckleballer, whoa. Um, but I think it's pretty cool. We actually have another knuckleballer in our system. I think that we just signed as a free
Really?
agent. So
Okay.
that's pretty
Oh, no
cool.
way.
Yeah, and then obviously there's Matt Waldron on the Padres. So
Sure.
George Kirby decided to throw one the other day, which is cool. Yeah,
Oh, no way. I missed that.
yeah,
That's sick though. I mean, you do have a legit knuckleball. We've seen the videos of it. Your one video went pretty viral, especially like a month or two ago.
yeah.
Just no movement on it and the speed on it too, which is like pretty outrageous. I don't think we've seen anybody in the majors actually throw something that fast.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I think in my last outing, I was throwing a little harder overall, but I think I got it up to 88, which is pretty insane.
Yeah.
Damn.
But I'd say the average is probably 84.
All right. Yeah,
And the
still
top is like
like,
88. Yeah.
yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, I
Wow.
can't remember anyone even getting close to like the 80s, let alone
No,
past that.
no, I'm a Mets fan, and so watching like someone like R.A. Dickey, and I know you talked about him on a previous podcast, but he was one of the harder throwing knuckleballers that I remember. But yeah, that's incredible.
Yeah. I would think might help hold the record. I don't want to say it,
Yeah,
but I mean, maybe that's the hardest knuckleball, but I don't know. But yeah, R.A. Dickey would probably be close second. I can't remember like how hard he threw, but I knew it was pretty hard
yeah.
compared to
No,
like.
I mean, 88 is definitely harder than he threw,
Oh
but
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So we know you have the knuckleball, but what would you say is probably one of the more underrated part of your games?
Uh, as in pitches or just in general?
Just in general or pitches, whatever you think is like maybe people don't talk about or things that people should talk about.
I think my fastball is pretty unique as well. It's got some crazy characteristics, like analytical wise. Uh,
Hmm.
Vertical break's pretty insane on it. Uh,
Yeah.
that and maybe in the curveball too, because the curveball kind of I throw it hard as well. So like with my fastball being, I mean, 89 to 93 or whatever, maybe 94, the curveball has also been pretty hard off of that, like 81, 80. So yeah,
Yeah. And that probably plays up a little bit just with having those really good breaking pitches. Probably,
yeah,
feels
definitely, I
more
think so.
faster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a unique combo because I feel like more people nowadays throw like a knuckle curve or kind of like a hybrid of something. But with you being able to throw a knuckleball, you could probably get some insane grips, holds on a ball where it's like not really, traditional in any way.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I throw a knuckleball or a knuckle curve. I don't know if that stemmed off of me throwing a knuckleball when I was younger or not, but I can't remember exactly when I started throwing a knuckle curve. But yeah, they kind of go hand in hand. So yeah,
Right. Yeah. I feel like it's like the bridge between like the gap of people who can't quite get the knuckle but can get that like action on it. But yeah,
yeah, for
that's
sure.
awesome.
I mean, it's all in the release. So yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just talk about, I guess you went to UC Santa Barbara. They've had quite a few pitchers come through there with some great success at the big league level too. And I guess just talk about how, the development was at UC Santa Barbara, just kind of refining some of those pitches and, making you the pitcher you are.
Yeah, definitely. Santa Barbara was awesome. I mean, we had access to all of our numbers from like TrackMan. We had TrackMan on the main field, which was
Okay.
awesome.
That is awesome.
And then we had Rapsoda for bullpens. So whenever we wanted the data, we could just ask like, "Oh, is this what it's supposed to be or whatnot?" Um, and yeah, they kind of made me the pitcher who I am today because I came in throwing two seams, not knowing that I should be a primarily four seam guy. Um, and that really changed how my fastball ended up playing. So like after that change, fastball up in the zone was crazy compared to the two seam that I came in with, and then also added added a slider there, which is kind of the same grip that I throw now. And then still tinkered around with my changeup. So knuckleball didn't really change much. I kind of liked it and just kind of
Yeah.
let me do my thing. So same with the curveball. Curveball didn't really change much. So yeah.
Do you still throw the two seam at all, or are you just strictly four seam fastball now, just because of how effective it is?
Yeah, just strictly four seam. But yeah. So that was actually my first bullpen there. Started throwing two seams and they're like, hey, try this four seam out. I'm like, okay. And then never went back to two seams after that. So
Wow.
definitely saw the
Man,
change. That was crazy enough. So yeah.
that is
Wow.
crazy. We saw earlier this year that you had a combined no hitter, basically, slight error away from being a perfect game. That's still really impressive, though. I mean, can you just like talk about that a little bit? What that experience was like?
Yeah, that was sick. The lone error being on a drop third strike, which is even crazier. It's not even like a true error. But yeah, that was awesome. That day coming in, it was a Sunday game in the middle of Florida. So it was really hot. No one really wanted to be there. It was hot and humid. And that day for myself, I mean, velo was down. It was like 87 to 89, just like, just throwing the ball in there, just hit it. Like, let's get out of here. And everything else was in the zone and they were swinging and nothing was falling. So yeah, it was just a good day overall.
Yeah,
That's
that's
so cool just
awesome.
to be, yeah, just to be a part of that. And I don't know, is that the first combined no hitter or even no hitter you've had?
Yeah, that like in competitively,
Yeah.
I guess, like in pro
Yeah,
sports. Yeah, yeah, for sure.
that's
Nothing in
awesome.
college, nothing in high school. But yeah, that was the first one. So yeah.
That's
Have you
legit.
any, I guess, being at the level you are now, have you had any effects with like the way the robot umps and kind of some of that is working? Have you, has it been different as an adjustment for you?
So we used it in low A. They used it the whole year, so that's kind of where they were using like all the new stuff. So like robo umps and the challenges and like um the shift changes where they couldn't like pass a certain point around second.
Yeah.
That was all being used in low A, so I was exposed to it early on.
Okay.
I think it was first 3 days were robot ump, and the last 3 days of the series were challenges, or vice versa, something like that. But I mean, for myself, I think the challenges worked the best, just because the zone, like the robot ump zone, was like kind of weird at times. So like it could be like off a little bit, and like the
Hmm.
hitters could tell, and like they would get the like data back and be like that wasn't even close, but it caught the zone or like something like that. But yeah, so definitely exposed to that early on.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Chase and I are huge Phillies fans, and I was like reading something the other day. Weston Wilson finally made he made the roster for the Phillies wild card round. Pretty special because he's like an older minor league player, but he talked a lot about the robot arms helping him as a hitter. He I guess he could better understand kind of what the strike zone was. And so I didn't know, like, from a pitching standpoint, like I know for catchers, sometimes, the art of framing can be talked about going away. But I didn't know, like, if you were kind of against it, or if it's kind of one of those things where you're just adjusting to it when you do use the robot.
Yeah, definitely adjusting to it because like early on, I feel like how the catcher catches it is a big part. If you get a strike called, so like if you throw a curveball down and they don't really catch it right, it could still be called a strike just because it clipped the zone. So I think that could be helpful. And then along with throwing a knuckleball, I mean, if they if the
Yeah.
catcher can handle it and it clips the zone, it's going to be a strike every time. So I guess
Yeah.
that's another thing. So yeah.
Yeah, and
I
you'll
didn't
you'll
think
see
about
that all
that.
the time, like in the pros when the catcher goes across his body, it's like the opposite, and the pitch is a strike, but because of the way the catcher caught it, it's just doesn't see it that way.
Yeah, exactly. Or where they're set up or like something like that. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, it's definitely like a major element of the game, how the ump is and whether or not you're getting calls or not. So it was just interesting to hear your perspective versus like I feel like we hear more of it from the hitters of like just recently in the news and stuff coming up. And like Ryan was saying, I think it's a little bit easier for them to pick out a zone versus like you guys where you're trying to like expand it, make it work better, get your pitches in there type deal.
Yeah, definitely.
So talking about hitters, I mean, we got to ask: do you wish you could hit it all? I mean, I know obviously high school, you're coming up, you're doing both, as a great player in high school, and then you stop going into college. Do you wish you could ever hit again, or do you ever wish you could just take some BP?
Oh, definitely. I wish I could take BP all the time because so when I got to Santa Barbara, I had no idea if I was going to two-way or not, and I kind of figured I was going to be a pitcher when they sent like the glove orders out, and they only sent me one. Like I'll just make a pitcher's glove. I'm like, oh, here we go. Um, but yeah, funny story. Like, so I got there in the fall, didn't hit, came back after winter break, and they're like, "Yeah, you want to take BP?" I was like, "Yeah, of course." And then from that time on, it was the COVID shortened season, but from that time on in like January or whatever, I was a hitter for a little bit. So I got to take BP before the game, kind of as like a emergency first baseman if needed. We had we were dealing with some injuries, so I was kind of last resort first baseman. But yeah, that was kind of cool.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So do you wish there was still not a DH in both leagues at the major league level?
Yeah, at times because I feel like I could hit still, but I
Yeah.
mean, being realistic, I mean, no chance. But
One of my favorite moments as a Mets fan was just seeing Bartolo Colon jack a home run
sure.
in Petco Park, and just like one of the most unlikely things ever. I mean, and that part of the game just kind of is gone, but it would be cool to kind of see some of that.
Yeah, because I mean, those moments are just so insane. Like, especially for the pitchers. Like, it's cool for the pitchers because I mean,
Yeah.
home run. I mean, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I remember one time at the Phillies, Charlie Manuel had Cliff Lee pinch hit in a game just out of nowhere late. And it was a decisive at bat, too, like late in the game. Sent out Cliff Lee. And I was like, wow, I love this. And also not sure how I feel about it at the same time. But
Yeah, Adam Wainwright. I mean, he just got his pinch hit, his last at bat,
yeah,
last game or whatever. So that was pretty cool. Yeah.
yeah, definitely.
Do you have a favorite player or team, I guess, growing up or even now? I mean, obviously you're with the Twins organization now, but just growing up in California, did you have a favorite player, favorite team?
Yeah, so it's kind of crazy. I actually grew up as like a Rays fan.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, huh. Okay.
Yeah, so I was an Evan Longoria fan, so I just kind of followed him around until he left, and then I was kind of just stuck there with the Rays. So, but yeah, favorite player, that's tough. Growing up, I kind of like Tim Lincecum. He was pretty cool. Kind of got like the same over the top action. So yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's interesting. Outside of baseball, though, are you what other sports are you really interested in? Or if you're not interested in them too, that's okay. But
I mean, a little bit of football. Like I'm in some fantasy league, so that's cool. Play a lot of golf. So I mean, that's probably the second.
Nice.
But yeah, those are probably the two. Don't really follow basketball that much, but yeah.
Yeah.
How's your golf game? Are you just like a scratch golfer? Are you above average? Because we're not really good.
I'm all right. I mean, I'll shoot from mid 90s to mid 80s. Like that's probably pretty average.
Okay.
Yeah.
Score for me. But yeah, have a lot of fun with it. So it's cool.
A little better than us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shirks up.
I could have won our outing 2 weeks ago.
That's funny. Yeah, no, I mean, and going back to the Rays, I guess they the cool big new stadium they got, so that's kind of neat. But hopefully they can fill some fans in their park. That was a little disappointing to see, just for baseball in general, I think.
Yeah, I mean, especially with like the playoffs. I don't know if you guys have seen like the attendance numbers, but it's like the lowest in like 20 years, like a long time. I don't remember the exact years, but yeah.
Yeah, and I mean the Twins, got their first win, and being a part of an organization like that's got to also be exciting too.
Yeah, that was super sick. Especially because Royce Lewis kind of went crazy. He's from Southern California, so that was cool.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Have you met Royce before?
I haven't officially met him, but I played him in high school. I think one game, and I walked him, and then he stole second, and then he stole third, and then that was it. So,
yeah. Oh wow, that's crazy.
Yeah. It's good to see him healthy because he's such a talented player, and it seems like he's been, he's kind of gotten the injury bug the last couple of years, and you see this year what he can do as a healthy player. I mean, he could be
exactly
an all-star.
Yeah. Is there anyone else, since you mentioned it, like, is there any other notable hitters that you faced throughout? I mean, even high school, college, into, the minors now, is there anyone like a tough out maybe, or like some notable guy that you face you're like, oh, like a little nervous about or anything?
I mean, I faced Brooks Lee, pitched against him twice. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a ton of guys probably in the minors that I faced. but
Yeah.
not one like big, like crazy star or whatever. But yeah.
Yeah, so we did a little deep dive and we saw that you had two brothers and saw that one of them actually got drafted as well. I don't know, we don't know, if you've been in touch at all, but if you've had kind of a similar experience or just kind of how that experience has been for you in the minors.
Well, I would say it's definitely changed since he
Yeah.
was in the minors, like with the new deal with the players agency or whatever.
Sure.
But yeah, he was with the A's, so I remember him telling me stories of how like bad it like kind of sucked because like the pay wasn't great back then, and like a lot has changed, like I said. But yeah, I guess we're kind of getting lucky now,
Sure.
being a part of what has changed. So
Yeah, and I mean, you're not to trash on any other organization, but I mean, the Twins organization in general is definitely, I think, regarded as a better organization than someone like the A's, and it's cool to get to be put in a situation like that where you have a better chance to succeed.
yeah, definitely. And I mean, I think overall, I'm sure all the orgs are kind of stepping up their game with
Sure.
like player health and whatnot, and
Yeah.
how they live and whatnot. But yeah.
Cool. Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, did anyone else have anything?
No, I guess I saw you're turning 23 coming up on Sunday, so early happy
Oh yeah,
birthday.
yeah. Happy birthday,
Yeah,
Cory.
Happy birthday.
Only reason we saw that is because my birthday's on the 8th. So
Oh, sick. Well,
I was
happy
like,
birthday.
yeah.
Yeah.
So and good luck as you move forward into the rest of the season, and next year hopefully, depending on where you're at, hopefully we can catch a game and
Yeah. Yeah.
see you.
We really want to come watch you pitch. I mean, obviously, on social media and stuff, everyone knows you as the knuckleballer, but we wanted to have you on because we knew you were more than that, right? And this conversation right here has flowed, and we were just so nervous and pumped to have you on, but now we really just want to see you pitch like in a game.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I mean, hopefully you guys can make it out to one. I mean, I don't know where I'm going to start next year, but it's either going to be Cedar Rapids, Wichita. So
Yeah. No,
yeah.
I mean, you had
Nice.
great numbers, and we all just want to say best of luck to you as you move forward in the organization, and definitely looking for you to reach the majors. Get some baseball cards, start collecting them. Whatever whatever that looks like. But
Awesome. Yeah, thank you.
yeah.
Yeah, much success. Thanks again, Cory. Thanks for joining us. Thank you for your time, and hopefully we can talk to you again in the future.
Yeah, anytime. Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.